I'm all about planning for retirement. What that means, that starts in your 30s and 40s. That doesn't start at, hey, I'm 62 and I'm about to retire. And
Right.
I think we can both agree that there's much better ways of planning for this survivor benefit and using other tools. And I know that it's a lot more expensive or not as efficient if we're trying to figure it out for an individual that's 58 to 65 versus if we actually start building something when they're in their 30s or 40s. And what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to educate more and more people so that we can start building these things earlier.
Yeah, absolutely. The sooner the better. I mean, when's the best time to plant a tree? 20 years ago. When's the second best time? Today. So, it's never too late to start thinking about this, but it's never too early either. And especially, you're with a, FedEx or any other major airline, you're going to be making pretty good money over the course of your career, and that amount's just going to be going up. Don't leave it all to, hey, what the company's doing with you or for you with the pension and the 401k, which all that stuff is amazing that they do that for you without you having to put anything out of pocket. But start taking some other steps and personal responsibility and planning ahead for those things. So, one of the questions I would ask is, hey, when you die, this is going to be a morbid conversation. So when you die, because it's guaranteed to happen, how much of your income does your family want replaced? Do they just want half of it? Or would they prefer to have all of it replaced? Here's some of the risks that maybe I don't know how well FedEx educates their people. I know how well the military educates their retirees on this stuff, which is very little. They say you should do this.
Well, and I would say it's about the same. I mean, unfortunately, as pensions have gone away in our society, it's just thrown upon the individual. And we don't teach it in schools. We don't have any education out there. And FedEx is very similar to the military. There's very little to no education on it, or we don't know where to go to get it. There's some retiree meetings that they have, and I always recommend people to go to those, not when they're about to retire. Go to it in your 30s and 40s, and then you could start making decisions throughout your career that are going to get you in a better place for retirement. But yeah, I definitely want to hear how, not only the questions that you're talking about, but even for the Marines that are listening, presenting a case of how we might be able to do this in a more intelligent fashion.
I would say, you don't need to wait until you're 65 to start a survivor benefit plan. You start that when you're 30, 35, 45. Like, you can start that today. Ask a few questions to make sure people are thinking this through before they make that final decision. And they're thinking of everything about it, right? All the risks involved. So what happens? You do the survivor benefit plan, and God forbid your spouse predeceases you. Do you get any of that money back that you put in?
Or would you be losing that $20,000 out of your pension for the rest of your life?
Right. I mean, if your spouse dies, then the survivor benefit plan ends. So you don't have to pay into it anymore, but you don't get that money back either, is my understanding, right? Mm-hmm. All those years you paid into it. Well, you better make sure you die first. That's all I'm saying. And then you better make sure that your spouse is going to outlive you by, a certain number of years to make up for everything you paid into that during your retirement. So, I mean, you can do the math pretty easy. You put in 20 grand a year, every 3 years you pay in is about 1 year of benefits for your spouse. Right. So, a few things have to happen to make sure you come out on top and your spouse comes out on top.